Oh, good evening to you. So glad to have you with us here on News 6 tonight. This is where we have a little rap, a little conversation with some video.
Debate.
We've got some stories. Lisa and I usually will yell at each other.
Correct.
We didn't yesterday, so that was good. But we've got some interesting stuff on the horizon. We've got some great stories for you tonight. A warm-up is coming, and then a cool down, a little bit of everything for everybody.
I think most people are over the cold weather and looking forward to some warmer weather.
I wouldn't mind another couple of hoodie nights, huh?
We need a little break from that, and we'll get one this week.
We're
that's for
getting
sure.
some high 80s pretty soon.
All right, we have a lot to get to tonight, and we want to start off with really a disturbing story out of Seminole County. A teacher there has been arrested, accused of sex charges and a drug charge, and this involves a student, and we've been reaching out to the school district to get some more information in this. Our Seminole County community correspondent, Catherine Silver, has been out there in Seminole County all day digging into this story. Here's the latest.
You know, it's disgusting.
Tuesday morning, they got this email from the principal that was also shared with News 6. It says the sheriff's office is investigating allegations of an inappropriate relationship with a former student. It involves a teacher named Miss McLean.
Miss McLean? I only saw the email, but I've heard of her.
We looked up the name on the Seminole County Jail's website and saw this mugshot and the booking information. We also got a report straight from the sheriff's office. This is it. It shows a Mackenzie McLean is facing 2 charges of sex offense by an authority figure and a drug distribution charge. The report does not go into detail about McLean's alleged involvement with a former student at Crooms. The school's website shows a Mackenzie McLean on the staff directory. Her position is listed as a world history, U.S. government, and economics teacher.
So that taking place apparently at Crooms Academy in Seminole County. I know our Catherine Silver asked Seminole County Public Schools for additional records regarding her employment history. The district says she's actually been with the school district for 25 years, and she's expected to go before a judge tomorrow afternoon. So, of course, we'll be following that case as well.
Yeah, we're waiting to hear some more details on this case.
Yeah.
Those are always scary ones for parents.
Absolutely.
We're in a weird time, and you're going to see this as your kid. You have a middle schooler. As you get into like upper middle school, high school, there's this weird line that we have now that we never, like I would have never followed my teacher on Facebook. I would have never text messaged my teacher or a sports coach. These
kids
days,
are doing that?
So there are more group settings is seen as more appropriate,
right?
You know, rather than one-on-one. Like I have my kid plays a sport. So if she text messages her coach, I'm always included on that. And that's not my rule. That's the school's rule. But it's just a weird place to navigate with relationships and I mean,
that's how people communicate today, right? Through text messages, through social media. So you can understand it makes sense, but as having those safeguards in place is important, not just for the students, but also for the teachers to protect yourself. You don't want to be in a situation where you are one-on-one with a child,
or it's
right?
even seen as inappropriate.
Correct.
But with technology, we just have all these new little areas to watch out for because before, I think it was maybe a little more difficult to strike up like an interpersonal relationship with a high schooler if you're their high school teacher. Now
probably so.
Just have to exchange numbers. You can talk whatever you want. Okay, well, I got to do a story today, which I was really interested in. I really sunk my teeth into this one. So this couple contacted us. They live in the Villages. They the husband medically retired. They're both teachers in the school system in Maryland. Classic case. They're tired of the cold. They wanted to come down to the Villages. They got their whole pension plan worked out. You know, together they're about $100,000 a year, and so they got this adorable little house in the Villages, and they're just going to retire and live.
They are not 65 years old yet.
Not 65, so they do not qualify for Medicare just yet. So right now they basically rely on the Affordable Care Act website to get their insurance. They get it through this place called Florida Blue. Last year they paid $760 for it. And then the subsidies for the Affordable Care Act.
$760
per month, yes. And subsidies were not agreed upon by Congress by the federal Congress.
They were expiring at the end of 2025.
And they let them expire. And so they went from $760-ish to $2,600 per month.
That is crazy.
It's
this
insane.
was a math teacher. I did the math. I said that's 4 times the amount, but he said he gave you actual percentages, how much.
Yeah,
it's
he said
gone up.
259% increase.
And when you
that
are
wasn't even
living
counting
on a
everything.
fixed income, when you've retired and you've budgeted for things like your health insurance,
Yeah.
to have it go up that dramatically simply because these subsidies were not extended by Congress has to be shocking for them.
Yeah, so if you have budgeted for your $100,000 a year combined pensions and 30 grand gone just like that, you're in some trouble. So he saw this coming before even, he saw it when the big, beautiful bill was being debated. He saw those subsidies could expire. So he started reaching out to his congressman, who is Daniel Webster, longtime congressman. And he really struggled to get a hold of people. Then he talked to his staffer, and the response from the staffer puzzled him. So here's that story that I've been working on for you. After 28 years of teaching math, Michael Fell medically retired and moved to the Villages with his wife, Dawn.
You have somebody come massage you every day? What kind of health care is this?
The Fells were paying $723 a month for Florida Blue insurance last year. After the big, beautiful bill passed without the pandemic-era subsidies keeping premiums down, he got this in the mail. His new health insurance would cost more than $2,600 a month.
Yeah, that's just for the two of us.
Fell knew this was coming. He tried reaching out to his congressman, Daniel Webster, for months. Fell got a sit-down with one of the congressman's staffers.
She said she'd send this on to the congressman.
But a few weeks later, Fell receives this email. Dear Michael, thank you for contacting me regarding H.R. 4593, the Saving Homeowners from Overregulation with Exceptional Rinsing. Really? The Shower Act?
I like showers as much as the next guy, and I don't care about that. We care about this healthcare situation that we're in.
Here's the kicker. On January 8th, the U.S. House voted to extend the subsidies that would save Fell thousands per month.
The bill is passed.
His congressman voted against them. I reached out to Webster's office. I'm going to send him an email because that's how he prefers it. I'm doing a story about a constituent who claims he cannot contact Congressman Webster. Can I get an interview with the congressman? So we're going to send this. We'll see if he gets back to us. Hopefully he does. So he got back to me via email, but I've never felt crazier. I sent this person email. My producer, Robert Brewer, sent this person who represents, he's like the communications person for Congressman Webster. Every time we ask, can we get a sit-down interview, which we've done plenty. This is a U.S. congressman.
Yeah.
They're usually pretty easy to get a hold of. Not once did they even acknowledge.
Yeah.
They didn't even say no to the interview. I think they wanted me to not be able to say they said no, so they just would blow on past it and answer some other question.
And I feel like he has time because they're on recess again right now because we're in another government shutdown because they could not agree to funding and regulations for the Department of Homeland Security. So, I mean, these people that you interviewed, were they surprised by this? Because there were plenty of people at the national level warning that if these subsidies are not extended, that this is exactly what would happen.
I'll tell you, this is a very well-read couple. They're both educators. They told me in the middle of the interview, they're like, we should say we're Republicans. So it's not like we're just out here trying to hate on the party or something. And they saw the writing on the wall for this very early. He said he's trying to talk to Congressman Webster for 8 months and hasn't had much luck.
And it's so frustrating. And they appear to be healthy individuals.
He's actually had some real health. The reason he had to medically retire early is because he had strokes. I've never heard of this, in both optic nerves in his eyes separately.
So they have to, you have to have insurance.
You can't go without insurance.
Yeah. And then I'm sure his out-of-pocket expenses are high. His monthly premiums are high.
That's the other thing. This isn't even copays and dental, and this is just his
healthcare
premiums.
is bankrupting people.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it right before our eyes. And, hopefully, eventually, there will be action because it doesn't seem to be going in the right direction right now.
It just doesn't seem like anybody has a plan at the moment. But we'll see. Hopefully, something gets figured out.
All right. Well, we're going to move from that political battle to another political battle. This one's actually happening a lot
interesting too, huh?
closer to home. Absolutely. This one is in Apopka, and it's regarding the mayoral race, but it could actually drag on all the way into 2027. Just what we love, political battles that are dragged out for years. Voters in Apopka will vote for the mayor in just 3 weeks, but as your Orange County community correspondent Mike Valenti tells us, this race is messy and it will likely drag on.
Certainly the judge is not
feeling that they have a reason to expedite the case.
The case here is Apopka Mayor Brian Nelson's lawsuit against challenger and current Orange County Commissioner Christine Moore, claiming she has not lived in the city long enough to meet residency requirements for a candidate. Moore, for her part, has called Nelson's claims false and misleading. But the reason we're talking about this today is that just this week, a judge set a trial date for the case for 2027. July 26, 2027, to be exact.
The presumption going in is that she counts as a qualified candidate.
So what if Moore is elected Apopka mayor, but come 2027, the judge rules in Nelson's favor and says to Moore, actually, you never did meet the residency requirements. In theory, Moore could be kicked out of office more than a year after being elected.
So again, no surprise here, a political race in Central Florida, and it's messy.
High drama.
And tied up in the courts. So I know that has sparked a ton of debate in the Apopka community, people digging their heels in, taking sides. We'll see what happens.
I've been taking a look at this race. There's a few interesting components to this. So there's like a charter amendment that people are going to vote on that will decide. Right now, the mayor of Apopka has a good amount of power. But if the people vote in the same election to restrict the power of the mayor, the very position these people are going for could almost
mayor.
become a figurehead.
Yeah.
They will not have the power. So the question is, you're kind of applying for a job you don't even know what it is.
Right.
At this point. So I'm interested in that aspect of it as well. All right, well, let's follow up on a story that we brought you before. There was this couple, they got in vitro fertilization at a place in Central Florida, and then the baby came out. It worked, mostly.
Well, the baby was healthy.
The baby was healthy, beautiful
Yes.
baby, but the baby was, according to them, not their baby.
Did not look like the parents.
They are two white folks, and the baby was not
Caucasian.
Caucasian. Yeah, what's their? That's not a white
that's
baby.
how they phrased it in the lawsuit that is now taking place.
Correct.
Yes.
So now these people, rightly so, they want to know, hey, whose baby is this?
Right.
And did somebody else have our baby?
Correct.
We'll raise this kid if they don't want the baby, but we would like to know what happened.
And that's the challenge too, because they are becoming attached to this baby,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. She grew this in her body.
And that's what they say, but they feel awful because this baby belongs to someone else who clearly intended to have a baby. They were going through the same in vitro fertilization clinic in Central Florida. And so, yeah, to your point, they're wanting to know where are their embryos and who does this baby belong to?
Yeah. So there was a hearing today, and they basically wanted to learn what the clinic and the company that operates it, because these people have written to this clinic asking questions, and they said it's been radio silence.
Yeah.
I think the clinic maybe is worried about the legal ramifications of this. And so they just thought radio silence was the way to go.
I mean, sadly, you also wonder, obviously this clinic's in Longwood, and you wonder, are there other mix-ups inside that clinic? I mean, if you had embryos stored there, you might be a little hesitant to proceed because you just don't know at this point if those are really your embryos based on what this couple has gone through and how traumatic. I mean, as someone who has been pregnant twice and carried a baby for 9 months, I mean, that is a huge endeavor. You bond with that baby. It's quite the commitment. And, there are so many emotions. You're so excited to have this baby. It seems like clearly this couple's been trying and wanted to have a family.
Paid a bunch of money in this case.
Paid a ton of money, made tons of sacrifices, and then to have something like this happen, it's just awful, So
I think hopefully in this process, as we go through the discovery process in this case, if it doesn't get settled, these people are going to be trying to figure out, okay, they want to know who donated eggs on this particular day, who could have been switched with us, and they want to get the names of all these people.
At this point, it's the money's one thing, but it's sorting out the answers, right? And it's not even just who donated the eggs on the particular day. I don't know all the particulars to this case, but I mean, sometimes people can have embryos and they can be stored for years, decades.
But you would think if there were a mix-up that it would be somewhere around the time when you donated.
Or who knows, maybe their names, if they store them by name, maybe they were just next to each other. I don't know,
Legally, maybe this clinic is going to just drop HIPAA down and say, we can't give you any of this information. And I don't know if they'll be able to stand on that or not. But
Well,
that seems to be what they're gonna try.
this opens up so many questions, so many ethical questions. I mean, this day and age with DNA the way it is, there probably is a way to track down this child's biological relatives, even a distant relative. We've been talking about this earlier. Even if you go through Ancestry DNA or Ancestry.com, something like that,
maybe.
chances are they will be able to find down a biological relative. But then, who knows what you're going to encounter when you knock on their door and say, hello, we have this child who's biologically related to you.
Yeah.
So
it's very complicated.
It is complicated.
And
yeah.
hopefully we get some more info on the story. Hopefully it works out for the family, most of all. But hey, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back. Local community having to deal with some Airbnb partiers who are going a little crazy. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to News 6 Tonight. Matt, have you ever rented an Airbnb?
Yeah. I'm mostly a Verbo guy.
Okay. Now, when you did that, did you invite 100 of your closest friends?
Doesn't everybody, right?
Right.
Cocaine over here, drugs over here.
Who knows what?
You know how the Austins like to party.
Well, apparently this is, obviously we have been covering stories like this as well around Central Florida, but recently there was a man who was turning 18 years old who wanted to throw himself a little party, apparently.
Like how you go Midwestern. He wanted to throw himself a little party.
This is all according to the police. Well, they showed up and the birthday party was a little wild and it has led to some arrests and he had all sorts of things going on. But this was taking place in a beautiful home by
Really
all
nice
accounts.
neighborhood, yeah.
Yes. And so our James Sparvero looked into this case and has this report for us.
80 to 100 teenagers show up to their gated waterfront Airbnb, police say for a house party with alcohol, marijuana, and cocaine. Sunday, Melbourne police arrested Cecilio Rosas, who police say booked the Airbnb for his 18th birthday party. HOA president Art Houtel told me he almost called police because some of the teens came onto his property.
It was definitely one of those out-of-control parties.
The arrest report for Rosas reads he paid a friend to be security and they charged admission. Then inside the house, police say they set up a VIP area with a tip jar. Police told me a parent of one of the kids saw their child posting pictures of the alcohol on social media, but when police got here and told Rosas they were taking the teen home, police say at first, Rosas wouldn't let them in the gate. I reached the Airbnb's owners, and while they didn't want to be a part of this story, they told me that Rosas fooled them because he booked their Airbnb under a different name.
Gated beachfront home. He was trying to be resourceful. He charged for admission and had a tip jar because throwing a party like that can really add up.
Especially when if they destroy the house.
He might need some money for bail and legal fees now.
I am just shocked. We talked about this earlier. I was all excited to turn 25 years old so I could rent a car.
Which is very bizarre.
That's bizarre? You weren't excited?
That wasn't
thing.
I guess, that wasn't really on the top of my list.
You get to rent a car. How cool is that? You go on vacation, rent a car. You're like a real grown-up. I'm a real boy. Well, now apparently you can rent a whole house without.
I mean, I don't think
ID?
they really require that. Just as long as you have a credit card.
Isn't that weird?
Well, now that you mention it, it seems a little weird. Yeah.
Well, I don't know why nobody's thinking about that, but
especially if you can get a car to drive yourself there. So
this is true.
Yeah.
And the other thing I found interesting is it was his 18th birthday, so now he'll be charged as an adult. If he were 17, he might have caught a break.
On his record for good.
Yeah, that's pretty tough. So I don't know. I feel like there are some ways that these Airbnbs and VRBO companies can make sure that these people
and you
are
would
who they
certainly think as the homeowner, you would want some of those safeguards in place. Yeah.
All right. Up next, a strange sight out at a Publix that took place where this guy, this is in Volusia County, this guy, they get a call, the sheriff's office, about a dude who's just relentlessly beating a car in the Publix parking lot.
Strange, right? Like who just attacks a car?
Hammer, he's got like tools out. He's just destroying this car as if it's one of those places. This is in Ormond by the Sea last Friday. So they show up and this guy's just beating the hell out of this car. And
he's angry at it.
Here's what happened.
Hey, get out of the car! Get out of the car! I'll verify that. Get out of the car, get on the ground right now. It's mine.
Now, if you watch the video
drop
here,
the hammer.
Yeah, the hammer's down, and the guy's just angry. The cop gets there, and the guy's like, yeah, this is, my girl took this car. And so he claims that
it was his ex.
It's his car, that his ex stole it. So he was just running around, finds his car, and starts beating on it. Here's the problem. So cops notice that he says, oh, wait, maybe that white car over there is my ex's car. I should beat that. Oh, no, maybe it's that one over there. So they find out.
Dude, where's my car?
This wasn't his ex's car.
No.
This car had nothing to do with him. It was a Publix employee with 4 kids. And this guy just destroys the car.
And there's the inside of the car. This is just heartbreaking because here you have someone who was at work, trying to make ends meet, taking care of their 4 kids, and then they come out after their long shift to drive their car back to their house, and that's what they encounter.
It's not a Rolls Royce.
So
or
who is
anything.
going to pay for that?
I don't know.
Who's going to make that employee
Insurance should weigh in.
Or maybe
you have a deductible. That
maybe Publix will buy their employee a new car.
Wow, that's a bold statement.
I
Cotton.
mean.
All right, we'll see about that. Publix, it's on you. We'll report on that next. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with a very interesting story from our guy DJ about John Young.
John Young from John Young Parkway is an astronaut? How did we not know this? All right, this is the video we're all talking about.
John Young is an Orlando native. He is the only astronaut from Orlando, period.
It comes from our TikTok. The story is about John Young, his legacy, and an auction that just wrapped up that allowed people to buy pieces of his historic gear. And come to find out, it was this post on TikTok that taught a lot of people who John Young was. This person says, so that's where John Young Parkway comes from. Whole time I was wondering who John Young was. This one, drive it all the time, never knew. Just moved here, glad to know that. Cool, I'm new to Florida, didn't know this. This is how I find out who John Young is. Because of him, it takes me an hour and 30 to get home. Lisa says, seems like a cool dude. Hate his parkway at 6 p.m. though. So did you know the story of John Young? Go to that QR code there to learn more. You'll see a snippet there of Ginger's story. And while you're there, follow us on TikTok. You might learn a few other things.
Okay. I will give a pass to people who are new to Florida.
Yeah.
Not knowing who John Young is.
DJ, did you know about John Young?
I had no idea.
He's new to Florida.
Not at all.
How long have you lived in Florida?
4 months.
4 months. Okay. But if you've lived in Orange County,
you've been frustrated on John Young Parkway.
Yeah.
I've been on it thousands of times.
Even for a year or longer, you should probably know who John Young is.
I totally agree.
I mean, we covered the Space Coast all the time.
I know. So, DJ, what did you think about this?
Fascinating. Ginger was super into it. I think we were talking about it. This is a week or 2 ago when she was putting together this story, and I had no idea. It's super interesting. Off topic, I need to say the TikTok comments. What a beautiful place it is compared to the Facebook comments.
Way better.
Everybody was just, it was like flowers, roses, friends. I think people are going to be at Thanksgiving dinners together this year. What a great place it was in the comments
Way
section.
nicer on
it
TikTok.
was phenomenal.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like there was some hate, though, geared toward John Young, and because of the traffic. That they
I wouldn't want to be.
He was catching some strays.
Hey, do not name a road after me. That's any road really
in Central Florida.
I don't think I have to worry about this, but if you did, don't make sure it's not a busy one that people are going to be cursing my name. Not Matt Austin Parkway again. I hate this.
I got to get on Matt Austin Parkway. Yeah.
Side note though, John Young, kind of a baddie.
Oh
that
yeah,
dude,
it's where News 6 is located.
That dude, he was like the test dummy. He was like, send me up there. I'll do it.
Of course.
I'll go.
Yes, and he grew up in College Park.
Good guy.
Really awesome.
All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow night.